my fangirl inside might come out throughout this video. Just want to put it out there. Hi, welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Fran, this is Fran Nook in the pages, and today I have a very exciting video. I mean, it is exciting to me. Hopefully it'll be for you as well. Today's video is going to be a 5 stars prediction video, and this is the first 5 stars prediction video that I ever film. So that's why it's exciting to me. I get excited at very little unimportant things. I do. Basically, I want to share with you 5 books that I am going to do my best to read throughout this year. And these books, I think, are going to be 5 stars books. These are going to be fantastic, incredible reads. They're going to be my favorite, all of that. However, my dear friends, this is not going to be just any random 5 stars prediction video. This is the mashed potatoes edition, and that requires a bit of explaining. I need to give you some context to understand that. If you would like to skip ahead and just get to the books already, you can do so. You will find the timestamps in the description down below. But if you would like to have a bigger picture so that you can understand what a mashed potato is, then I suggest you stay. And I haven't come up with it, by the way, so that's why I need to give you the explanation, because I have to give credit where credit is due. So, the past few weeks have been very stressful for me. We were house hunting, which is stressful on its own already. That is just something that drains all the energy and the life out of you. There were some things happening with my family, so I had to be present for all of that with my mind at least, and work was so busy and it just required a lot of my time. So long story short, I was under a lot of stress and I was in need of something that would help me just relax, switch off my brain, and take me to a comfort zone, a safe zone, however you want to call it. And that place for me turned out to be the Books Unbound podcast. And that is a little bit surprising, because in a positive way, because I don't really listen to podcasts. Usually when I'm listening to something, I'm listening to audiobooks, and I do dedicate a lot of time to reading thanks to audiobooks. I love listening to audiobooks. But as I was telling you, I was under a lot of stress. I couldn't really focus on the words of the audiobooks that I was listening to, so I just needed something else to quiet the noise in my brain, if that makes sense. And I just started listening to their podcast. The hosts are Ariel Bissett and Raylene. You might know them already. Raylene used to have a channel on BookTube. Now she doesn't do videos, unfortunately, anymore, but I used to watch all her videos and I loved them. And Ariel Bissett still has a channel. She doesn't do BookTube related videos anymore, not as much. She mostly does renovating videos. She's renovating her house, and those videos are just so peaceful and lovely, and just I love watching them. They just bring me so much peace. But anyways, I started listening to the podcast from the very first episode. I started with episode 1 and now I think I'm at episode 20 or something like that. And I'm also caught up with the new episodes because of course I wanted to, be caught up with what's going on now. But I've just spent hours and hours listening to their podcast, and I just love the sound of their voice. Like, they really give me so much peace and comfort and quiet, and I love all of that. I love listening to them, and I love that I have so many episodes that I hadn't listened to, because now I can just binge listen the whole thing. And Ariel and Raylene came up with this idea, with this expression of the mashed potato, to refer to books that you know that you're going to love, but for that reason you want to wait until you're in that right mood, in the right mindset to fully enjoy and experience and love that book that you think you're going to love. And that is kind of the same that happens with mashed potatoes, because of course everyone loves mashed potatoes because they're mashed potatoes and they're awesome. So you leave them for the end of the meal, but by the time you get to the end of the meal, you're full. So either you don't enjoy your mashed potatoes anymore, or you're too full to have them, and so they become leftovers, I guess, in this metaphor. But anyways, here comes the mashed potato books, which are basically books that you think you're going to love, but for that reason, you don't get around to reading them for a very long time because you're waiting for that perfect moment that never comes. The 5 books that I'm going to show to you today are my mashed potato books. I mean, not all of them, but some of them. These are books that I've physically owned for at least 3 years, and I think I'm going to really love them, hence the 5 stars prediction part of the title of this video. But I haven't gotten around to reading them because I am waiting for the perfect moment, and it's genuinely not possible that in 3 years that moment hasn't come. I just haven't reached for these books, which is totally on me and not on the moment or on the books or on anything else. That was a very long and probably not necessary introduction. So we should just move along and actually talk about these books. I mean, not really talk about them because I haven't read them yet, but I can at least show them to you so you know that these are books that I want to read this year, and so you can hold me accountable to that. They aren't in any particular order, so I'm just going to pick them up and show them to you. First up, we have Release by Patrick Ness. This was released in 2018, and I think I've had this since then. I don't know why I have this turtleback edition of the book. I have no idea. We can ask Amazon. But anyways, I have read and loved many other Patrick Ness's books. My favorite so far is The Rest of Us Just Live Here, which is an unpopular opinion, I guess, because out of all the books that he's published so far, I think that one is the one that is less liked by readers, and I don't get it because I loved it. But anyways, this one I don't know much about. I know that it is a YA contemporary, of course. It has a gay main character. It might have some magical realism elements because it says something here about a ghost rising from the lake. There's a ghost rising from a lake, and it should have a strong religion component, and I love to see that in books, especially when we are talking about queer books that somehow have a religion component in them. So yes, I am very excited about this one. It's Patrick Ness. I think this is going to be a 5 stars. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a 5 stars. I haven't gotten around to it yet. It's on me. It needs to happen. I need to read it. I think 3 years is enough. Next is Attrib and Other Stories by Eley Williams. I first heard about this book on Liv's channel, A Book Nook. I will leave it linked in the description down below. This is a collection of short stories, as the title suggests, and they should revolve around words and communication and play with words, and I absolutely love that. I remember reading the beginning of this and thinking it was absolutely genius and brilliant, and I haven't read it yet, and it's my fault because I was waiting for the right moment to be swept off by the brilliance and the genius of this book, and that moment has probably come many times and maybe I wasn't ready for it, I don't know. But I've recently read The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. That's another collection of short stories by Disha Filio, and I absolutely adored that book. It's going to be one of my favorites of the year, and that has kind of awakened my interest in reading more short story collections, and this is a short story collection, so it might finally be the time to actually get around to reading this book. I sure hope so. Then I have a book that I've definitely owned for more than 3 years. I don't know how long, but it's definitely more than that, and it is If Nobody Speaks of Remarkable Things by John McGregor, and this has an absolutely gorgeous cover. I just love it. I love the photos, I love the background, the bokeh effect. I just love everything about this cover. I've had it for years and I'm still not sure what it's about. I know that it's set in the UK. I know that it has a quiet undertone, and I remember again reading the very beginning and thinking it was just written beautifully, like in such a magical atmospheric way, and I haven't read it yet, and I'm looking outside and the sky is just white grayish and it looks like it's fall and not spring, and it's making me feel like this is the time to read this book, and I can't read it right now because I'm in the middle of too many things right now. Damn you, work. But I want to read it soon. Hopefully I won't wait till next fall because that's far, but we'll see. As long as it's within the year, I will accept that. I will take it. Another one, and this one I was actually reading and I got far. I got to page 84 at least, but I don't remember anything. So when I do pick it up, I need to start from the very beginning again. And that is Eleanor, Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail, Honeyman. And I'm laughing because I was reading this, I was loving it, I was tabbing it for goodness sake, and I never do that. And I still put it down because I was loving it too much. And so apparently that's what I do when I love things too much. I put them down. I'm clearly just kidding, but I put this down. I never picked it back up and I feel so terrible about it. I just remember that it's about a woman who is lonely. She's mostly on her own. She doesn't really interact with people and she's happy that way. And she has a very weird, complicated relationship with her mom. And that's all I know. I remember that there were so many Italian words used correctly in this one, and I was kind of really happy about that. So again, I do need it to pick it back up and start it again because I don't remember. I don't remember anything, and that's such a shame. It's on me, it's my fault. I feel terrible. I will get to it this year. I promise you, and I promise me. I promise myself that I will read it and finish it, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to love it. This is going to be a 5 stars. You will hear more about this book from me. And the last one that I have to share in this video is another book that just makes me feel so guilty. Like, so guilty. I feel terrible. I feel bad. This is the most embarrassing book that I have in this whole video because I've had this for at least 5 years. And I bought another book by this author and I've read it and loved it. It was one of my favorite books that I've read that year. I think it was 2020. And I still haven't read this one and I've had it for longer and I just don't get it. But it is An Age of License by Knisley. This is a graphic memoir. It is a travelogue, so it involves traveling, which is like everything that I'm saying right now, like graphic memoir, graphic novel, travelogue, like these are all things that I adore. Okay, and I love Knisley. I love her art style. I love how she tells stories. I love everything about her, and I still haven't read this one. I feel so terrible. This was recommended by a dear friend of mine that lives in Canada, and she used to have a booktube channel. She doesn't make booktube videos anymore, but I will still leave her channel in the description down below because you can still go and watch those videos. I still do sometimes because I just love watching those videos and I just love them. Okay, I'm a fangirl at heart, and I watch the things that I love, if that makes sense. She was so good, she was so talented, and her videos were just great, aesthetic wise and content wise, and just everything about them was great. Anyways, she recommended this book in one of her videos and I got it immediately because I loved everything about it, and I still haven't read it. I had started it, and then again I put it down. I never picked it back up, and to this day it's still unread. And that's on me, and I feel terrible. And this is the year, okay? This is the year I read this book. It's happening. It's gonna happen. Sis, I promise you. And this is it for this video. I truly hope you enjoyed watching it. Let me know in the comments if you have read these books, what you've thought about them, or if you would like to read them. And also let me know what are some of your mashed potatoes, because I would love to know. I'm curious like that. As always, you can like and share this video. You can subscribe if you haven't yet. You can hit the bell icon if you want to get notified whenever I upload a new video. You can befriend me on Goodreads, follow me on social media, and I have a coffee account, which is a digital tipping service. You will find all this information in the description down below. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon in another video. Until then, have a good one, take care, and keep reading. Warm hugs. Bye!